I've just finished making one of these rose hooks. I thought I'd use it as an opportunity to talk about finishing of metalwork, because when I do blacksmithing lessons and I show and folks make these, the thing that they typically use to finish them is lumps of beeswax, and they sort of melt it all in. And but that's what folks then say to me, "Oh, is this what you use for finishing of my own work?" No, it's not. Obviously, exterior work needs like a zinc coating and paint, etc. But for interior pieces, there's sort of my two go-to products are Liberon iron paste, which is like a graphite paste that gets used for fire backs and fire surrounds and all that sort of stuff. And that is, I'm sure, no great new revelation to anyone. It's quite a well-known thing. Liberon also do this other wax called Special Effects wax, and they do it in different colours, and this one's black. So anything that gets touched regularly, this one is my sort of go-to one, because it's a very similar, like, I'm assuming that many people know of this, and it's really, really lovely, but to kind of make it like safe to touch afterwards, I then coat it with a clear lacquer and then apply another finish, a wax finish over the top, Renaissance wax finish over the top of that. So to get this to the stage of where you can, like, it will not rub off on clothes is a bit of a process, whereas this is very similar in finish to that, not quite as nice, but is like matte to the touch, basically immediately. So that's one part of it. The other thing is that I a while ago discovered that, I think it's in Home Bargains, one of those like cheapo shops, they do these makeup brush sets. I think these are $5.99 from memory, and they do them in a whole different range. So I got these originally because quite commonly what I do with gate hinge pins is I use rivets, and anyway, what I end up doing when I fit gates is then wanting to touch up some paint on the hinge pin, and normal brushes are too like scratchy, so I got some these, they're super fine, so they're very good for ultra fine finishing. So these are both white spirit thinned, so I've just poured some in there. So what I do is I tend to keep one brush from within that pack as being like my blacking one. So because it's white spirit based, it's quite handy for being able to sort of make it run all the way down. I'm just going to do this quite quickly. So probably what I'll do is I'll do a bit of this and then like let it dry and then show you the result at the end. With that one, the iron paste, you can buff it up quite a lot and get it to a real nice like satin look and all that. This one doesn't seem to have that same like range of finish, but it is nice nevertheless. The thing that many folks, or the thing that I'm always wary of, is like a lumpy finish. You don't want like build-ups on corners of things and that, so the fact that it's thin and can run all the way down is handy. And yes, you have got the option of sort of building up multiple layers of finish, which is good. I'm sort of doing this a little bit quicker than what I normally would for the sake of this video. I'm trying to show you the reach it has, because a normal wax would just sort of immediately clump on the edges of these leaves. I did once upon a time, used to make my own beeswax mix with beeswax, terps and linseed oil, and I'd sort of sit there at home watching a film, and if I had a market, that's what I'd do. I'd sort of like sit watching a film and coat a whole load of bits at once, but even that sort of wax would still not be as good as this for these kind of awkward layers. The other thing what I'd normally wear is little latex gloves. I forgot. Right, so I made that 17 minutes to 5, so I'll make a mental note of the time when I unpause the camera, give you a sense of the drying time. Right, 17 minutes to 5. So approximately 10 minutes later, just going to give this a little wipe. It's basically dry, but if I give this a little wipe on the corners of the leaves, you see it burnishes a little bit, so it brings out a little bit more texture, which is nice. But as I was saying before, it doesn't like make everything black. Like this tissue would be black, completely black, if I'd used the iron paste. And just to maybe elaborate a little bit more on what I was saying about doing like a sort of three-stage process with the iron paste is because iron paste, the graphite paste, I mean there are other brands, I can't remember, Stovax, I think that's one of the brands. They're all similar. So because that stuff will continue to mark skin or white clothes, I do a clear lacquer over the top of it. From memory, Halfords do a clear matte lacquer, because virtually all places that you get lacquers from are gloss, and it's annoying because it makes everything look a bit chintzy. So a clear lacquer, and then after that Renaissance wax, and Renaissance wax will then make the surface finish more like flexible, because wax will the lacquer will be like scratchy. You can scratch it, but if you put a Renaissance wax over the top, you can then sort of like buff it back to like a satin nice finish. I think there's a hay baler or something about to go past. Anyway, so you can see it's not now coming off of my fingers. It's a nice finish, I think. So these are one of the things I teach folks in blacksmithing lessons.